Hello, everyone, and welcome to Compassionate Conversations. I'm Tanys Coughlan from My Place Home Care. I'm joined by my co-host, Heidi Gagne.
Hello.
Hello. And we have a special treat today. We have Warren Bailie from Tasketeers on with us to talk about what he does. So, Warren,
Thanks for
welcome.
having me. Thank you. So basically, we're a handyman service for seniors, a mix between a concierge, home helper, and handyman. We'll do a lot of basic maintenance around the house, nothing major, not finishing a basement or redoing your kitchen, just the home upkeep that seems to get forgotten or passed over, and then over a period of time, something small then turns into something huge.
Yeah.
Things, changing light bulbs, fixing leaky faucets. We'll also install grab handles. We've just it's a new service that we've added. But yeah, a lot of the minor fixes that just pile up and really start to stress people trying to stay in their home as long as possible.
What a
Yeah.
great service. I love it. And I was looking at your website. No, I want to point out one thing that you do offer as well is tech support.
Yes,
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 Yeah,
yes.
you need to promote the beavers out of that
Yeah.
you
because
do.
a lot of seniors, some of the younger seniors have, probably worked with electronics and everything like that, but some of the older seniors,
Yeah.
they don't understand and setting up email and figuring out how to set up your iPad and all that kind of thing. We recently had a client talk to our caregiver about that and saying, oh, I wish there was someone that could come and help me set this up.
Right. Right.
And so I sent her your information.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we actually have a weekly client that we go to, and that started off as basically like a tech support call. Her kids live out of town.
Mhm.
They communicate solely through FaceTime, and every device in her house is basically an Apple product. Her watch, her iPad, her phone, her MacBook, her iMac, everything, and then it was something simple. She had logged out of her account
Oh
on one
no.
of those systems on one, I don't know which one, and all of the whole everything went down. So she couldn't FaceTime with her kids or her grandkids, and it was something simple. It was she had
Mhm.
logged out or she had signed into a guest account or something, so nothing worked as it should because the Apple ID wasn't logged in. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, she was basically like stranded, uh, kind of
Yeah.
on her own little island. She couldn't reach out. So that started off as a tech support call, and it now is into a weekly visit. And every time we're there, we make sure everything's working. The iPad's working, the iPhone's working. On top of making sure all the lights work, and like we do laundry, whatever they need done while we're there, mow the lawn. Um, yeah, it's just the little things that seem to just get missed and piled up. But yeah, tech support is definitely a big one.
Well, it seems like a lot of the things you do are kind of what if somebody had family living by nearby
Mhm.
or had time to just come over and visit mom or dad or aunt or uncle and be able to take care of those little things that
For
we
sure.
take for granted,
Yeah.
'cause like, oh, it's a
Y-
Saturday afternoon, I got to do laundry, I got to change the light bulbs, I need
Yeah.
batteries in my all my wall clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
no, for sure. And it started like the business is just over a year old. I started it after spending 20 years in the automotive industry. I got out of that at early 2023. I sold those businesses. And for a period of time, I was just kind of figuring out what I was going to do next. And
Mhm.
during that time, yeah, my mom would call me and what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, well, I'm just gonna do some stuff around the house. I got to change my fridge filter. And her response was like, oh, I haven't done that. Like, I've never done that. You have to do that. I'm like, well, yeah, like every 6 months. Then the next time I'm gonna clean up my the filter in my dishwasher. She's like, I haven't done that. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't have me to call to come help
What do
you
you
do
do?
that, who do you call? So I started, just did a little investigating, a little digging. I reached out to some handyman companies, and they wanted, well, if you have 4 hours for two people, then we'll come. If you have 8 hours, if you have, nobody wanted something small. They just wanted like a larger job, enough to fill a day, or at least
Right.
half a day. And I reached out to some appliance repair people, and it was kind of the same thing. It's $180 for a visit, and then it's $90 or $100 after that. I'm like, I don't need a specialist. I need somebody like myself. Like, I am not a
Right.
plumber, but I can change a faucet. And it kind of just grew from there. Well, there's got to be other people like me who can go out and do these little jobs, and aren't looking to make $1 million. Like, it's just got to be something small. So I wanted it to be affordable for seniors. I didn't want it to
Right.
be too much. So I think we're in the range. But yeah, no, it's and that's how it grew. It started there, and then little advertising here and there with friends and family, and then it
Hmm.
started getting good feedback, and yeah, now it's growing. It's turning into something. It's great. It's so rewarding. You go to people's houses, and they've just been struggling to keep up, or not knowing who to call.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, like, having kids around. We get called by kids because they're tired of spending the weekend that they go to mom and dad's doing
It's
these
hard.
odd jobs. Yeah, they're like, we want to go and visit. We don't want to go and work. And
Work.
then, everyone knows, like, you start some project and it's 4 trips to Home Depot or the hardware
Yeah.
store, right?
Yeah.
So we get there at 10, and then, by 3 o'clock the project's done, but we have to go home like at 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you do have family, like, sometimes they just want to visit and they don't want to change light bulbs and fix squeaky doors and that sort of thing. So
I find that is very similar to sometimes what we do when an adult child is just tired. Every time they go visit mom or dad, all they're doing is supporting them,
yeah.
helping them take a shower. And they're like, my relationship has changed. I want to just spend time with my dad,
And
you
it
know?
goes both ways. Like, your
Yeah.
dad doesn't want you to come over and be running around and fixing stuff up around the house. And
Yeah.
not only do they want and this is stuff I've learned just being there and talking to the senior that we're helping, and them saying, like, well, when my kids come here, I don't want them to have to rake up the leaves and pull weeds out of the garden and re-level the interlock and do all that. Like, I want to spend time with them. So they come on the weekend because they're busy during the week. They come on the weekend, and then they're still busy on the weekend when they're here visiting. It's not real. They come here and now they're working. We're not even having that visiting.
Hmm.
Sometimes, they don't bring their grandkids over because they know they're going to be working in the yard, and they don't want the extra, like, they just want it to be actually like a family visit, which was something I didn't, because I would just go over and help my parents. They're down the road. It was very quick. I figured that was going to be across the board, but I quickly realized that it's not. People won't see them during the week, or won't see them for a couple of weeks. So when they do see them, they definitely don't want them,
Yeah.
fixing a patch in a drywall or what have
And
you.
Yeah.
people have different family dynamics too, where
Hmm.
it's not the norm to have your son or daughter or grandchildren come over and help you. And that's complete, like, that's just family dynamics. That's how the
Hmm.
family works. So knowing that there's somebody that they can call on to help with those things that you don't think about, like you said, light bulbs, changing the
Hmm.
light bulb, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's should be
Yeah.
easy, but it's not when you can't, when you have arthritis and your arm can't go
It's
past your
true.
shoulder. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's a security thing too, right? They don't want to. They don't know who to call, who to bring in. Um, so then they don't, and then it becomes like a little something that you could just reach out to somebody to come in and do. They don't know who to call, or a lot of the time they think that if they call, a plumber to change the faucet, then there's going to be an upsell. Oh, you need this, you need,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like, they think there's going to be more than there actually is to it. So them knowing that we're just there, like, I don't want to have to replace the plumbing in your house. I just want to come in, fix the tap, and go away. Like,
Yeah.
we just want the small job. So I think there's some, it kind of lowers their guard a little bit. But yeah, no, it's all sorts of dynamics, and it's something that is very new to me. and I'm still learning, how these how a lot of families have it set up. So
Yeah.
it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah. So okay, so then what sort of, like, you can do simple tasks. So what is the process for somebody to call you? Like, do you come for 20 minutes? Is it per
Well,
job? Like, how do you
yeah.
bill?
So we bill per hour.
Okay.
We're doing right now. The first hour we charge $75,
Okay.
and that's just to get somebody, make it economical to send somebody out there.
It makes
And
sense.
then and then every hour after that is $50 an hour. So we will usually the conversations usually start off with one thing. For example, yesterday I got a phone call. A gentleman had started changing his deadbolt in his front door, and then quickly realized that he just wasn't able to do it for whatever reason, whether it was physical or he just didn't understand how the pieces all went back together. So that was the initial call. I said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be able to do that in under an hour, so it's going to be $75. And then as we talked, well, my closet also needs painting. I have a hole in my living room. I have this in my basement. Um, and this was at, like, he called it 3:30, and he wanted his deadbolt fixed for that evening
Makes
because
sense.
he didn't want to go to bed with his front door unlocked.
No.
Understandable.
Yeah. So I said, okay, we're not going to be able to get all of that done. So for tonight, let's get the deadbolt done. I can have somebody go out there, and I have part-time employees and independent contractors that we work with. So I can have somebody go out there about 5 o'clock and get that done, and then we'll revisit the whatever else needs to be done. So sometimes they'll send us pictures, and I can say roughly. I don't like giving quotes.
Hard.
It's hard, and typically our jobs are small, so we can kind of give an hour range. But if you start getting into quoting, then it's, well, now I have to guess at like the unforeseen things, and now I
Mm-hmm.
have to really not pad the estimate, but I have to make sure they're in there.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, we don't get into big jobs, so it's usually not a quoting thing. It's just like, oh yeah, that should take us 2 or 3 hours. So it is kind of a range. But again, most of the time we get there, and it's like, while you're here, can you do this? And this has always been bugging me. Or there's things that they just have not even noticed, like the front step is loose, and every time you walk on it, you almost fall because it's not attached anymore. So usually, back to your question, long-winded answer, they will call us or email us and say, this is what I have. Then we will ask for as much information as possible, or pictures if they can do that. And then it's just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is what I think it's going to be 3 hours. The first hour is $75. Every hour after that's $50. And if I can tell that there's a barrier because of cost. Sometimes I'll ask, like, well, do you have a budget in mind? If it's going to be 3 or 4 visits to do this, is there a budget? Can we spread it over? Kind of like the guy last night. Like, it wasn't a budget issue; it was more of a time issue. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's get this done, and then we'll regroup next week, and we can come and do the closet. And then if you're ready for other things after that, we'll go through. But most of the time, it is an email or a phone call. The website is getting redone, where there's going to be a book. Well, there is right now. It says book your Tasketeer. You fill in a
Mm-hmm.
form, and then that will email us the form. Soon enough, it will actually just match you with the Tasketeer that is able to do the work for you. And if it's
Okay.
multiple Tasketeers, like if you're, if you need a door fixed, well, we have a guy who does windows and doors, who's like a specialist in that. But you also have, a Ring doorbell camera you want installed. We have another person. It will then pick the two people and say, this person is good for this person is good for that. And you can actually, there's going to be a calendar. You'll just pick what day you want, and then they'll show up at that time. So it's going to get simpler. Currently, it is pretty simple. It's an email or a phone call, the odd text message.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, soon it'll be just direct booking on the website. That's the next step in the website design.
That's awesome. So
Well,
that's
it's
nice
good
to
that,
hear because you're growing.
yeah,
Yeah. It
with
is.
that.
Yeah, it's nice that it's being supported. And it's being supported from PS, PSW companies like yourself. I think one of our very very first non like network customers was actually a referral from Kumar.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. I think it was about a year ago. Yeah, it was. And then that stayed, and then from there, they left. I think they moved into a residence, and then we
Okay.
helped the daughters get the house emptied and up for sale. So yeah, I think I'm almost positive. I'd have to double check. I was just thinking that when I this morning when I was setting everything up, I'm like, I think my first like, out of my like family and friends network, I'm pretty sure the
Right.
first like referral was from Kumar.
Well, I mean, for us, we love having companies and people like you that, when we give your name to somebody, we know we're giving quality people and somebody that's not going to take advantage of them,
Hmm.
because it's so hard. It's so hard to know. Like, I mean, even it doesn't matter how old you are. I got these random text messages at like 3 in the morning saying your Interact deposit is ready. Please deposit it. I'm like, no. And
No.
Crazy.
then today I get one that says it's going to expire, and then it says it's from My Place Home Care. I'm like, oh, oh, so that was like, I was like, oh, I thought it was a scam. Shoot,
Yeah, you're always
we're
on
so
you're
afraid.
always on guard. Yeah, I
Yeah.
and
Everything
I
is on
didn't
that.
yeah, I didn't expect that. It's not something I was in the automotive business before. And I guess I never saw that, or I was never presented like for example, we got called out to go clean some gutters on a woman's house, to give an estimate or to look or what have you. And I let her know what it would be, and she said, "Okay, I will give you the job as long as you promise not to bully me." And I'm like, "Bully you? Like,
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
no, I couldn't. It caught me so off guard. I was like, bully you? Like, why? Why would we bully? I don't know. We're just gonna come out. We're gonna clean the gutters and we're gonna leave. Like, that's it. And she's like, every time I have a service company here, whether it's the landscapers, they force me into designing my landscape patio one way, or the guy who did my other garden, it's not what I wanted because he said it had to be done that way. And it's just like, yeah,
It's frustrating.
it
Anger
is
is,
frustrating,
it's
and
so
Sad.
angering.
yeah, and it hurts, and it's nobody deserves to be bullied, obviously, but yet
Yeah.
inviting somebody into your house to help you, and then them using that as an opportunity to force their beliefs in a way, like whatever it is, and maybe
Yeah.
what you wanted to do wasn't the right way to do it, or maybe there's other reasoning behind it, but for anyone to be feeling like they were just bullied
Well, obviously
is
their approach isn't very good, because there
right.
could be requests that
Hmm.
somebody was like, "I'd like you to do this," and you're like, "Okay, well, structurally we cannot,"
Yeah, exactly,
but
Yeah.
exactly.
how
Yeah,
you share
I
that information is
exactly.
completely different
Exactly.
than
Yeah, and
saying
I think
no.
I think there's a different level when you're dealing with seniors. I think there's a different level of patience required. Sometimes they may have more questions. Maybe there's um, even just something as simple as like they're not hearing you as clear as you think they're hearing you, so they're not answering right away. I think
Mhm.
maybe there's some people. I mean, there's people that I deal with. There's subcontractors that I've dealt with, and I'm just your bedside manner is terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, but yeah, no,
Well, you do
it's
have to
been eye opening.
accommodate. You have to
There,
be
yeah, I
accommodating
think
to
so.
those sorts of things,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think you do, and I think you have to be accommodating across the board, no matter who you're dealing with, because in a lot of circumstances, the industry that you're in, you're going to be, whether an expert or you're going to be, well versed in that, you're going to be talking to somebody who's not. So there are going to be questions that may seem silly, or may seem very, you know, like low bar or whatever, that you're going to have to be able to explain. And I think when people get asked those questions a lot, then they get frustrated with the people asking them the questions.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
That's hard.
Yeah, we just take our time. Everyone that goes out is, I've interviewed them, I've vetted them, had many chats with them just to make sure that they're patient. They don't mind explaining something once, twice, three times in different ways to try and make sure that everyone is on the same page. Um,
Hmm.
and and a lot of the time you go out for what should be a 2 hour call turns into a 3 hour call because the first hour was just chatting, right?
Explaining.
Like, yeah, not even explaining. It's
Or
literally
just
just like just chatting.
companionship.
Just it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's companionship. It's it's somebody they can vent to about their kids or whoever, right? Like, I remember one lady I would go probably once or twice a month when and it would be me always going, and every time I'd get there, she'd be like, "Let me tell you what my daughters did this time," and it was like, oh well, okay, like I'm gonna go work, and you can just come sit with me and talk while I work. And she's like, no, I've made tea. Sit down. We're gonna talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, but she's like, I know you got to charge me for this hour, and I'm like, okay, next time I know, I'm gonna put in an extra hour in my time slot just so I can sit here and talk. But it feels good, like
It
it's
does.
not, yeah, like they're so relieved. When that happens, they become so relaxed, like everything, like, it's just, it's a nice feeling being able to help, like, and just help like get their house back in the order, because I think that stresses a lot of them out. I think it,
Right.
Yeah.
and they, like I said earlier, they don't want to call their kids, they don't want to be a burden to their kids. I think I'm learning now that some older adults, I don't want to say intimidated, but they're worried about contacting their kids for a lot of things. They don't want their children to feel that, oh, they can't look after the house because
Yeah.
then they
And the
think that,
conversation's gonna start.
yeah, yeah, it's, I think, and I have to remind them, I'm like, a lot of the children, they're not maintaining their own house, they're hiring people in,
Yeah.
right? Like they're hiring people in to get the TV installed on the wall, or change a bathroom faucet or toilet, or
Hmm.
just because you're a senior and you're asking for somebody to do those doesn't mean you can't handle the home anymore.
Right.
Yeah, like and I don't know if it's a subconscious thing where I had one lady, she had every time we go, she's like, Kate, you can't tell my kids that you were out here. I'm like, I've never spoken with your kids. Your kids told you to call me. Like, I don't have any contact with your kids. She's like, I don't want them to know I can't keep up the house. They just want me in a home so they can wash their hands of me. I'm like, that is so. I don't know your kids. I don't know if that's true or if that's just made up. But it is a
Yeah.
horrible thing to like think that you can't be open and vulnerable with your own children, to be like, hey, I need some help around the house and I don't want to bug you guys, so this is what I'm doing, out of fear that they're going to come and have a conversation about putting you in a home. It's and I don't know if that's the case. In this case, I never met the children, but I can tell you, every time I went to her house, she's like, don't tell my daughters you were here. I'm like, I don't know your
Which is kind
daughters.
of funny because I bet you her daughters, when they were younger, probably called on her, because I know when we renovated our house, we would call my parents, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Want to
I
help
think,
demolish something?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And I think it might just be in their own. I don't know. I mean, every case is different, I would assume.
yeah.
I think in some cases it's a fear of them that their kids are gonna feel start feeling like mom and dad are a burden, so we're gonna have to look at a home, or we're gonna have to do something. So that's why they don't. But I do have one lady that will talk to me, and I do know her kids. Her kids are the ones who hired us, to make sure that her mom was okay. Um, and she will say, don't talk to my kids. Don't tell them that you had to do this for me, or don't tell them you had to, we set up, adjusted her walking poles for her. She's like, no, don't then they'll know I wasn't out walking. And I'm like, I've spoken with your kids, and they are all for you staying at home for like
Right.
as long as possible. Like they've explicitly told me they do not want you to go into home. It's not your wishes. They are here to support you however they can. So I'm like, don't stress about your kids.
That's
They're not
amazing.
trying to. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's also good to kind of be that messenger too. All these little things that I didn't think. I thought I'd go in and change some light bulbs and unclog some toilets or something, and it's emotional support in some cases, which is
Yeah,
way more fulfilling.
it is.
It would be. It would be. So you have Tasketeers that you said are employees and contractors. How do you choose them? Like, do they go through police records check? Like, we're talking
Yeah.
about safety. So what do your people do for them?
So yeah, so a lot of it is a big part of it is just me talking to them. It's a lot of them I've known in like before. I've known them for years. They're
Hmm.
contractors themselves. Uh, Other times they're friends of friends or whoever. So they come with a personal um, reference as well.
Hmm.
If it's starting off scratch, if I like put out an ad because I need some extra help, then the process is several conversations with me, whether it be on the phone, virtual, or in person. Um, every single one I've met with in person. I've never just I haven't hired anybody just virtually or over the phone. So it's in person. Then there'll be a criminal background check with
Hmm.
a vulnerable sector ID so that they can work with kids and vulnerable adults. And then if they're going to be an independent contractor, which some are already an independent contractor, and they're just
Hmm.
doing it on their own, and they're just looking for more work, then I make sure that they have their own insurance. And if they're
Okay.
part-time employees, then my company insurance would cover them. So we have $5 million liability insurance. It's usually between 2 and 5. Where two is the minimum. Yeah, and then it's just feeling them out like I would any employee in a previous business. And
Hmm.
then most, if not all, yeah, every single first job they've gone to, I've been there with them,
Okay.
um, and just accompanied them and introduced them to who they were working with. And then from there, if they get called back, like they'll go, um, they'll go on their own. And I'm trying to think of, yeah, and we're hiring somebody to do laundry and cleaning because some of
Okay.
our clients have asked for either biweekly visits or just a deep clean every 6 months. But they also want somebody that's going to be able to do some like laundry and just help clean up around the house. So that is, yeah, the same thing: interview, phone, in person, and then be there on their first visit if it's going to be like a weekly or bi-weekly visit. I will back up. I have sent people out to like a one-time call, like last night's door lock.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't accompany that. It was an hour job. It was most likely a one-time visit. Maybe we'll see how the closet and the drywall patches go. But he had a long list of stuff. He needed his basement refinished.
Oh,
Finished. Wanted his kitchen redone, so the kitchen guys or whoever he gets to do that may end up doing the patching and the painting. So we'll see.
right.
But yeah, no, it's just yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 people that go out for me, so it's not a huge team. It's not like we're tens or hundreds of people, but yeah, it's just making sure that I would feel comfortable sending that person into my own parents' house and
Right.
making so. But yeah,
Yeah. Or have them come to your own house.
yeah, exactly. Which is funny because like I go do stuff at other people's houses. I'm like, I need this done at my house too.
That's funny. So another thing, you recently were certified in home safety inspections.
Yeah. So
So
that
you
was
were doing that. Tell us about that.
we have and I'll be open. I haven't done one yet.
Okay.
I go to these yeah, I just um go see so many houses, and there's just little things that in my head just don't seem safe.
Right.
But I didn't want to be calling this stuff out. I'd be like, this seems like a tripping hazard or this. So uh, from that, I started looking at courses, and came across a couple, and then started working with Healthcraft. I don't know if you know them. They're an Ottawa company. They do the grab handles.
Okay.
So I just started working with them to sell and then install their grab handles. And during the onboarding process, they have a occupational therapist. She had, suggested one of these classes. So it's a course that just helps you spot just basically dangers in people's houses, things that kind of get overlooked, tripping hazards on the walkway,
Yeah.
uneven steps. Um, one instance that just came to mind, I remember going out to talk to a client. I had to unclog her laundry sink, and while I was there, she couldn't go down the stairs anymore into the basement where the laundry was done. The laundry was done by somebody else, and the sink was clogged. And when I was down there was just garbage like everywhere. So I did a quick tidy up. Just it wasn't like anything rotting. It was just empty boxes. It was,
Right.
just things that had just been like left to pile up. So I put it all in a bag, and then when I got upstairs, I said, like, where can I dump this? Is it out front? Like, I just want to put it in your dumpster. And she she said, well, it's just out the kitchen and down and like over. And at this time, it was probably like it was darker. It was in the fall, and I remember opening her door and like almost falling out of it because the drop of the stair was just so huge, and there was no lights. And then you had to walk down another set of stairs down the side of the house. That everything was uneven. She couldn't walk to be like very well to begin with, and I just
Right.
remember thinking, like, there has to be, there should be somebody that can come around for either her or her kids and be like, these are the things we have to look at. Like, yes, everything inside. She had grab handles in her bathroom. She had
Right.
her walker. She had, things to hold the doors open. She had grab things. But then something is not as simple as taking the garbage out was very dangerous. And that, I think, was the initial spark to be like, there has to be a certification that somebody can come and do this. And that's kind of where it spawned from. So it's little things like that. It's, kind of take me through your day. And I say I haven't done an inspection as of yet, but only like a formal written one, because every time I go to a new house, I'm walking around looking,
When you're doing
like,
it.
yeah, like I'm just doing it subconsciously, um even before having this or even thinking about it, like this, like, could my parents walk up these stairs? Like, when you come into your driveway, there's a carport over one of these houses. I'm like, there's no lighting in here. Like, one, for
Yeah.
security, just people hiding or people trying to break in. Two,
Mm-hmm.
just for your own safety. Like, you come in, like, if there's something there, you open your door, you trip on it. So it's things like, I'll suggest, either a motion sensing light outside. One, make sure if they have a light outside that it actually works, because a lot of the time they don't. Um,
Yeah.
and or motion sensors, or we'll put on like timers on lights, just to make sure inside and outside, because they'll come in the front entryway and the light switch is so far down that they have to like kind of walk 10 steps to get there. So just little
Mm-hmm.
things like that, or just even like the little like motion sensing lights you can put up, or the ones with the photo cell, like you can just put in a plug and when it gets dark it comes on. Little things like
Mm-hmm.
that, just to add a bit of safety and security. I
And
was
now there's smart lights too.
Yeah, you can. So many. We started doing servicing for a company called Sonder Care, and doing their residential hospital beds. So we'll do their annual maintenance.
Okay.
We'll also move and set up some, if need be. And the houses that we've done those in, all of them have had the bedroom lights on the little Alexa plugs. So like just little things like that, where you're, Alexa, turn the bedroom lights on, or turn the bathroom light on. Just little things like that just go a long way, and can really save somebody, just from an injury, just tripping over clothes
Yeah.
left on the ground, or something simple and easily avoidable.
It makes me think of back in the late 80s, early 90s, the commercials for the clapper.
Yes.
And it was
Yes.
that
Yeah.
older woman
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
bed, and she's like, She
Yeah.
collapsed away. And I remember thinking when I was a kid, I'm like, oh my God, really? You can't get up and turn the light off?
Yeah.
Come on now. And now
Yeah.
as an
Now
adult
it's
who's
like,
had back issues, yeah, no,
Yep.
I don't want to.
No, you don't want to. I'm comfortable. I don't want to get up.
Yeah. And
Ring doorbell cameras, like, or not to put a brand on, but any doorbell camera, because um, some, if they're sitting in their chair, reading the paper, and they're comfortable, and then the doorbell rings, well, then it's like a panic, right? They got to get up fast. They don't want anybody waiting on them. They're already self-conscious, because they walk slower to the door. They don't want anybody waiting. So then it's just like a big rush, and then it's, there's nobody there. It was just Amazon ringing the doorbell and leaving a package. So
mhm,
now it's having it so, not so much on their phone, but they'll have the little monitor in their kitchen or wherever they're sitting, and
mhm,
then they can see what's happening outside, so they know. It's just, technology can be very confusing and very, overly complicated, but in some cases, when used correctly, it can really just help people just with some comfort.
mhm.
They don't have to, like I said, they don't have to get up and try and get up the stairs or down the stairs and then have an accident just trying to get to, somebody canvassing for, Roger's cell phone bills or whatever they come out.
Or those
Eh,
horrible water heater salespeople that
Oh,
come
there's
in and
just,
want to look, and it's no wonder people are, again, afraid of scams and everything like that. Or the one client you had that said, please don't bully me,
yeah.
because they do get that all the time. So,
Oh, they do.
the door camera certainly helps with that you don't
Yeah.
have to waste your time with that at all.
Yeah. It's
exactly.
little things.
Yeah.
Smoke alarms, and I can't. I went into so many houses, and they were the batteries were either taken out of them. I went, I went into one. Actually, the same lady that wouldn't go, like, couldn't go to her basement
Hmm.
because she couldn't change the batteries or reach the batteries or reach the smoke alarm. She just used her cane and then whacked it off the ceiling, like just kept hitting it until it broke off. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm here now. Like,
That's
where is
safe.
that? And yeah, like, we can just change the battery now. We'll put it up. Everything will be fine. I'm here now. Like, let's do it. And she's like, oh no, this was like 6, 7, 8 years ago. Like, it's long gone. I have no idea where it is. I'm like, no smoke alarm, no CO2, like nothing. And she's like, nope, that was it. I'm like, okay, well, we're definitely going to come back and change that. And we did. We went back and changed just the things that just get, forgotten, overlooked.
Those things there. There's the new ones too, though, that go off even if there's a spider that walks across it, because we had that experience.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh
in the
my.
middle of the night, of course.
Oh, of
And
course, of course, of
we
course.
had to get up and take it down. And I was like, I can totally see why this woman would hit that
Yeah,
thing.
would hit it. Would hit it. Yeah. I I got a call from a lady who needed us to move some, she wanted to declutter her place. And on the phone when I was talking to her, I could hear it in the background. Beep, beep.
Oh, oh,
And I'm like, and while we're there, we'll make sure we bring a 9-volt battery. We'll change that smoke detector. And she's like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, it's beeping. And she's like, is it? And then she heard it. She's like, yeah, you're right, it is. And she's like, I don't hear it anymore. It's been beeping forever. And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
well, we'll do that. And we did.
so how do
Little
you
things.
plan for that? So if you're going to come in, say you're going to change all the batteries. So okay, I'm going to bring 9-volt
Yeah.
batteries. That's fine. They want a leaky faucet fixed, and you're going to fix that. So do you have like a truck that has random things in it? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it's getting more filled with more random things because it really is. It was initially, yeah, just my SUV that I would show up and I would have all my tools and maybe the odd, I had batteries, and the tools, and then, odd screws and ends, and, a bunch of stuff. And I usually just try and ask a lot of questions,
Hmm.
and ask, is there anything else that you can think of before we get there, or is there anything else that you would like? Asking a lot of questions is kind of the key, and then, yeah, going from there. Yesterday's client with the lock, like, well, are you just stuck because it won't go in, it's not going in, or there's just too many pieces, or you don't know what order? Do you think it, like, does it, do you think it's a door issue? Because if it's a door issue, then, maybe we have to open the hole up bigger. So now we need like other tools to do all that.
Right.
It's just a lot of asking questions. Um, and usually, like I said, it usually grows. Like we'll go there for 2 or 3 things, and then if they add on things, there's usually enough to be like, okay, we're gonna get these done because we have everything. And then tomorrow or the next day or a month from now, we'll come back and we'll make sure we do these. In some cases, it is, I try not to do like the initial visit, but sometimes I have to. There was a client who didn't, her outside landscape lights weren't coming on. So
Mm-hmm.
I went out to double check to figure out like why they weren't coming on, was able to fix part of the problem just because I had stuff in my car from previous things. So we
Right.
fixed part of it then, and then the next one was just like, this is what we're going to need. Um, if we have to go to the store beforehand, typically we're going there for multiple people, so we don't charge for that. If we're at your house and we have to go to the
I can
store to
do
get
that.
stuff, it's just on the bill. Um, and so far we haven't had anyone complain that we're outrageous in our pricing. We've had people, no, you have to charge more, I want you to stay around, you have to stay in business. So that was the lady with the smoke alarm, because I just charged, we went there, we had to do, I moved a bunch of boxes and put a battery in. I'm like, yeah, that'd be $75. And she's like, no, it has to be more than that, there's no way you can stay in business this way. And I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. Everything's covered. She's like, no, you came all the way downtown. Like, so it was nice. But,
Yeah.
and that was a year ago, or just over a year ago. So we're still here.
It is a fine line. It's a difficult balance of
It is.
ensuring that your bottom line is covered,
Yeah.
and you're putting food on your table, and your employees are putting food on their table, and the client is getting quality service and not outrageously priced. It's a
Yeah.
very like yeah,
It's
you're
yeah.
preaching to the choir here. We
Yeah.
totally understand. It's
Yeah.
It's so
very
hard.
Exactly.
it is
You
very
want,
difficult.
yeah. Yeah. Trying to make everyone happy is always next to impossible, if not impossible,
Yes.
right? Like you're trying, like the customer has to feel like they're getting a good value, and they're
Hmm.
not overpaying, and then the people that you're sending out need to feel that they're being, appreciated and paid well. And then
Yeah.
yeah, then I have costs too, marketing and insurance and all the other things. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard.
It is very,
It's
very
Yeah,
difficult.
I'm sure. Yeah, in your space, in your industry,
Oh
it's yeah,
yeah. I mean,
it's
we
probably
would we
worse.
would love to be able to, give our PSWs and our team, umpteen amount of money, but
Right.
we we
You
can't
can't. You
Yeah.
can't,
because then
Exactly.
and
we
that's the
wouldn't have any
thing. Yeah,
clients.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
And
I
it's
want you guys to make more money. I want everyone to make more money, but I don't want the customer to pay more.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like
so low
it's
rock, hard place.
yeah, right
What are
there.
you gonna do?
Yep,
But
yep,
Exactly.
but it also kind of shows that you struggle with it as well. It kind of just shows the kind of person you are as well, and how
Yeah.
compassionate and understanding and caring you are, because that you do consider both sides, and you
hmm
have to consider both sides. And
yeah,
there's a lot of people out there that are just like, no, this is what I'm going to charge. It's
yeah.
$110 an hour,
Yeah, yeah,
regardless.
no, definitely, definitely. And I worked with at first we didn't charge, like we didn't charge anything for anything more for the first hour. And it was just, okay, we were gonna have to do minimums. Okay, well then if we do a 2 hour minimum, then we're gonna have to do $100. And I'm like, okay, but then I'm charging $100, and sometimes we're only there for half an hour. So then that doesn't make sense. Right.
Yeah,
So then it's like, well, the guy, if the and then it's okay, we'll try and clump all the visits together like in the same area, but then that doesn't work, right? Like, okay, we're in the
right.
east end and we have to get to the west end. Well, the person, like, we still have to get there. We can't just, okay, can you just put it off until we have another job in downtown so we can,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't
It
work.
kind
So
of
then
works
it's like,
that way.
okay, if we charge a little bit more for the first hour, if we're there and only an hour, then that's $75. It's still less than the 2 hour minimum. But then we can give, the additional money just goes to the person going out to do it, to cover their fuel, to cover,
hmm
what their time just to sit in traffic to get across. So far that's working. Um,
it's good.
I didn't do it. I was doing it just with new customers. I wasn't doing it with old customers. But now I have to do it with like with the original customers too, because they don't feel like they're getting ripped off, because we've been called back, so that's a good sign. But it really helps. That extra little bit really helps the person going out cover their costs, make them feel like they're getting a good like
Ottawa's
you
big.
know, fair. It is, and
Very
the
true.
traffic is wild, wild.
Yeah.
Like
And
it.
no shortcuts anymore.
No, no, and like you don't want to, and we'll like I go to Kempville, like we're in Kempville helping people, so
Yeah, a fair bit
it's
of travel.
yeah, like it's about the same amount of time to get from I'm in the Stittsville area, so to get from like Stittsville to Kempville is the same time it takes to
Yeah.
like get from Stittsville to like downtown. Yeah,
Yeah.
and no matter what time of day, unless you're going at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's the same time. But yeah, we help like Kempville, Orleans. We've been in Dunrobin, Almont, like all over Ottawa, Barhaven. And if just to clarify, if we can't help you with something, then we have a fairly long list of people that we can call on. Somebody reached out to get a tree cut down, not something we do, but we have an arborist that we use.
Hmm.
If you need major renovations, we have people that we use for that. I think you've had Catherine on Bennett from Build Able.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, well,
Yep.
if people need like a bigger renovation than what we can do, that's who we recommend. So it's yeah, no,
Your
it's
network is important.
it
Yeah.
really it is. It really is. And then if they don't want to do something that's too small, then they can call on us, and we can
Yeah.
all support each other. Um, and
Collaboration is
they
key.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, just having that, and it's important for me to have somebody that I can suggest. Like it's
Mhm.
you know um I got an email from a customer asking if I knew um had a recommendation for a lawyer that was experienced in mediation, because they had somebody, a service company, come out to their house that didn't do what they wanted them to do, and now it's like a whole battle. And it's
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, I don't off the top of my head, but let me like sit on this for a couple days and see if I can, and then just going through the network of like, okay, well, like, who are the lawyers that I know? But and being able to say like, yes, these two people you can reach out to, like they are, one is a family member, and in the law, and the other is somebody that I've done work for and is a lawyer. You can definitely reach out to both of them. They're good people, but having that, being able to help somebody and support somebody is important to me. So I mean,
Yeah.
networking is key, just to be able, one, get work. Obviously, it's I'm not going to lie, that's a great benefit to it, but just being able to still help somebody out in a stuck situation or in a tight spot is it's
Well,
important.
and the worst thing to do is the worst. I know personally, the worst feeling I have is when I say I'm really sorry, we can't help you, and not
Yeah,
be able to do anything else.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
That
know,
yeah,
like
helplessness is.
let me see what I can do. And that was
yeah,
one of the things when Kumar founded the company, was one of the things he wanted to do, because when he experienced it, when he was asking for help with his mother, it would be like, nope, and hang up. And this is terrible.
yeah,
So,
yeah. There has to
you
be
know,
somebody.
you need it's not hard. It doesn't hurt anybody to say, oh, well, I would try this. Maybe they would be able
Yeah,
to help. Can't promise
yeah, and even,
anything,
yeah,
but here's a number. Here's something
yeah.
else. I'm not putting a wall up.
Yeah,
I'm,
exactly. And even if I can help you, I just can't help you in the time or when you want it, or
yes.
for whatever reason. Like, look, I can do this in a week from now or 2 weeks from now. It doesn't work for you. Like, well, you call these guys, see if they can help you. And,
Hmm.
and that was something. I mean, I did that before in my previous life. Like, it was the same thing. Like, um, we don't do that, or we're booked up 6 weeks. So take it to these guys down the road. Like, I've heard good things. Try them. Let them know. Come back
Yeah.
if you have questions. Just being able to give an option. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
like not just hang up the phone like Kumar got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes, sometimes it's not a recommendation. There's times where we just don't have the staffing. So it's kind
Mhm.
of like, okay, here's some companies that are larger that might be able to accommodate you on the short notice that you need.
Yeah.
And so at least you're just not slamming the door in front of them. At
Yeah,
least you're
and
doing
it's good. People will
something.
always remember that. Like they
Yeah.
weren't able to help me, but they didn't hang me out to dry. They offered something. They couldn't come
We've
out and
actually
do
had
what I need.
reviews like that.
Yeah, yeah,
We have a
it's
review on our website that says they weren't able to help me, but he definitely gave me support and offered me all this, this, and this.
yeah.
How
And
amazing is
even
that?
yeah, and even just talking to them, like I've had that where people will call and I can't I'm not redoing your basement. Like that's just not up. But then they will talk about, why they need to redo their basement. And it's like, and then you'll get the email afterwards, like, thanks for letting me like talk your ear off for 25 minutes. I know you were, but it was just, that's what they needed at that time. They just wanted
Yeah.
somebody to vent to. And I think I think that's important just in business and also just being like a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
In this
be
day
an
and age,
ear.
it's hard nobody wants to take that time
Yeah.
because,
Everyone's in a rush.
yeah, everyone's in a
Every,
rush for whatever reason. And, just sometimes listening. I mean, I've had people call before. They're like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I know we just did the intake, but I have more questions." Okay,
yeah,
let's talk.
yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah. I'm
Whatever
here.
helps you feel better, you know, because we're in a similar situation as you is a lot of family members are calling us and they're like, I don't know anything about you guys.
Yeah,
Let's talk.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me
It's
tell you
me.
about us
Yeah,
and then you might feel a little bit better about our team that's going to come
who
in
you're
and
working,
visit your loved one.
and knowing how much effort it takes for somebody to open up and be vulnerable as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like just
Definitely.
knowing that this wasn't easy for them to call and ask for help. So yes, you can't help them, but shutting them down or sorry, we can't help you and not giving them any grace just makes it harder for them to then pick up the phone and call the next company, right? Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's just going to slam the door in my face when they can't, or they don't want
Yeah.
to. The project's too small, or it's too confusing, or it's it doesn't fit their mold, so they're just going to hang up on me. But being able to listen, hear somebody, and then help them in some way, whether it is just for the 15 minutes you're on the phone listening to them, or it's giving them a referral, or actually being able to go out and help. They're all important options, I
Yeah.
think.
So how quickly can you respond? Like,
It really depends. Like it depends on what it is. It depends on who we have available. Most of the time, it's a day or two. As of right now, like yesterday was a couple hours. The gentleman called about two
right.
o'clock, about 1:30, and Luke was out there at 5 o'clock, and I think everything was done about 5:40. So in most cases, it's that. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
bigger project that we do spring cleanups and fall cleanups, and most of the time that's like a 6 hour job. So we're usually booking that a little further out, a week or
Right.
two. But it's
And then you
it's
have people that you regularly see on a regular
yeah,
basis.
and then we have, and then and most of the regular people, I'm still the one going out to see them because they've been from the beginning. So I will do those regular calls. But then as
Mm-hmm.
soon as it gets into, usually those visits are 2 hours, and they're usually every 2 weeks. So we'll go out. So it's 4 hours a month, and that's just on like a recurring bill. Um, and then if there's something that comes up. Trying to think of, we had to replace deck boards on one of the clients' houses. So that was then that's another visit. I went back with somebody else and we did that, and then that gets billed separately instead of like their monthly
Right.
subscription, I guess. But yes, it's usually within a week, unless we're waiting on something. We helped a couple in Dunrobin, and it's been 4 weeks. I'm still waiting on a part for their shower to
Oh,
hold their.
that's the worst.
Well,
It's
you can't force that, right? I mean,
no, you can't,
you
and
got to wait for the part.
you wait for the part, and I know it's going to come in. It's probably going to be wrong, and Delta's going to be no help. But uh,
I used to work in HVAC. I get it.
Oh, it's all the same. It's the car stuff. It was the exact same
Yeah.
too. You just and I don't know. Yeah, it's the right part. It's the right part. I'm like, can you look at the picture? Just look at, yeah, it is good. It comes in. It's not the right part. Oh well, yeah. Okay, we'll order something else. Like no accountability, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. And I always feel bad when I was in HVAC and I would be like, I'm really sorry the part is delayed. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, really it is.
No,
It
I
yeah,
really is
really am
delayed. I am
sorry.
so
yeah.
sorry.
I am
Like I'm
sorry. I'm
calling
not
every
lying.
single day. And it's true though. Like you just start to feel like, oh my gosh, they've heard this line so many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's like I don't
I can
I don't
forward you the email.
yeah, right. Here, do you want to see my tracking? I have notes of every time I've called them,
Yeah.
And then when COVID was around and everything was delayed after
Oh,
that,
bonkers.
Oh yeah.
it was
Bonkers.
bonkers. It
Yeah.
was it was
Yeah.
so
So
hard.
silly. So
It's
silly.
so frustrating.
How long were you in HVAC for?
I worked as service manager for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, for a company in Spencerville.
Okay.
Yeah. So I live just outside. I just live about an hour south of Ottawa. So I live just past Kempville, actually.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I live on the 401 corridor there, but
Okay.
it was very difficult. It was difficult because there were times where parts were just really hard to get,
Yeah.
and people would have old furnaces, and it's heartbreaking when you tell them like, I'm sorry, I can't get this part, your furnace is 35 years old,
Yeah.
they haven't made it for 15 years,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can maybe get a repurposed or refurbished one, but
Yeah. Not all
it's
the
such a
time.
difficult
What
such
was
a difficult way of doing it, of saying
what was
things.
the this how did the switch happen from HVAC to personal support worker or
Or
from
home care.
home
The
care?
Oh,
home
I
care.
actually started working in a warehouse first as a customer service rep that turned into a warehouse supervisor. I've
Okay.
done quite a few things in my life. It all depended on what schedule I needed for my kid,
Right.
for my child,
Yeah.
and my husband worked in Ottawa for most of those times, so my flexibility was very important.
Got it.
Um, and so when I started working for Kumar, who I've known for about 20 years,
Really?
yeah,
Excellent.
when I started working for him, it was for me. It was the first time
Correct.
that I found a job in like the last 20 years that was really for me. That was something that I was really interested in.
Yeah.
And I love scheduling, and that's what a lot of my
That's what it
job
is.
is, scheduling and talking to people. And I bartended and served for years, so I'm not afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's really important to find a company where I have no problems saying our people are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. I met one of your people other than Kumar
And
at
us.
that client's house. Yeah, and you guys, of course. And it was the first I'd been to the house several times, and I don't think she was ever there. And then the one time I did hear, I did talk to her. All she was great things to say about Kumar. Um, I think it was in the winter, and for whatever, I'm pretty sure it was the winter, but for whatever reason she wasn't gonna be able to get there because she was stuck somewhere, the bus was stuck or there was something, and Kumar went and picked her up and drove her to and drove her to the house. Now I'm sure he did that for a bunch of reasons, but all of those reasons he didn't have to do them for, right? Like he wanted to
Yeah.
support the client, he wanted to support his staff, he wanted to make sure the job got done, like entrepreneurs, like at what cost. So but it was just nice to hear an employee talking about like their employer with just he didn't have to do that, we're like family. He came pick me up and brought me here. I forget if it was winter, whatever reason, he went
Yeah.
above and beyond, didn't have to do it. And it was just like, yeah, it's just so rare to hear that. So
We've had a few of our workers say that it's like working for family
Yeah.
or
yeah,
working with family, right?
Well,
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
yeah.
work-life balance is so important these days.
yeah,
And employers that don't understand work-life balance. I mean, yes, we have some clients that if we're not there, it could be detrimental. Like it
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
very difficult, dangerous for them.
Yes.
So, so that is taken into consideration. But work-life balance, if you're stressed because you have to pick up your son at a certain time and you cannot focus on your client because that's all you're concerned about because the bus is going to be 20 minutes late, that's not a good balance. And
No.
that's not what we don't want you going into somebody's house and worrying about those
Stressed.
things.
Yeah.
Well, it's not good
Yeah.
for anybody then, right? It's
No.
not good for the worker. It's not
Nobody.
good for the client. It's not good for the office because we're worrying about it too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually most of the time it's a simple scheduling change, or just communicating the needs of everybody, right? How are we going to fix this? This is the problem. But yeah, no, it was nice to hear. It was, you know and I met Kumar a couple times. I'm like, yeah, great guy, just like just a good guy, just
Yes.
all in all, just yeah.
He
No,
really is a
I-
caring person.
yeah, no, he is, and it's
yeah,
and it's because I think it started right because he wanted better service for like
yeah,
his parents or his mom,
His
right?
mom.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's just I remember us, talking about it and being like, yeah, this was my mom too,
Yeah, it's a very
who
similar starting story for you, just
yeah.
different
yeah,
paths.
Yeah, and my mom wasn't my mom was perfectly healthy when I started it. Shortly thereafter, she had a stroke, had another
Okay, I'm
stroke,
sorry.
and then passed
sorry.
away.
Oh,
So
I'm
then
sorry.
yeah, it was
Yeah. So sorry.
complete. It was crazy. Yeah, thank you guys. It was obviously heartbreaking, but it was so that's why the business when it started. I'm like, yeah, and then she got sick, and then I stopped doing everything, and made sure I could be there with her every single day, which was a blessing that I was able to do that. But yeah, the business, I guess, it started kind of 2024, but then really didn't start until 2025 because she got sick. But I do remember talking to Kumar and us being able to relate because of why we started the business anyway. So
Right.
yeah,
And in
yeah,
business, that's what they say, right? The ones
yeah,
that are really run well are usually because there's a clear, you understand why you're doing it,
yeah. You
right?
understand why, and you're solving your own problem basically, and
Hmm.
yeah, just being able to do it for that reason, I think gives you that extra edge, that extra push, because
Hmm.
you know what it means. You're not just doing it for the money.
And it
Exactly.
definitely shows the people that are compassionate and empathetic and understand. Um, and those are the kind of people that I'd want to have come into my house. I
Hmm.
want you to I
Yeah,
want you to be empathetic to my situation
yeah,
and not bully me.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it is. Yeah, we get. One of the things I wish I could help change is us getting called sooner, is
Yeah.
because I they the seniors feel that they're going to be ridiculed, or they're going to be talked down to, or yes, they know that they haven't been keeping up with the house, and the house needs a bunch of repairs, or it's not clean because all of a sudden they can't walk the same, or they just got osteoporosis, or something. There's something that's gone wrong, and the house has slipped, and then instead of us or anyone that can support them getting the call sooner, it's now 2, 3, 4, 5 years later,
Yeah.
and now the house is been stressing them out for 5 years. Now the problems are major. Now their family thinks that they can't survive on their own because everything's a mess and things are falling apart. Now they're we're getting a call from the realtor being like, hey, can you come in and help this senior couple get their house ready for sale? And then you're talking to them and like, we really don't want to sell, but like the house is just way too much. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot now, and now it's going to be hours and thousands of dollars to get it up to where you guys want it to be comfortable, and be happy with it and be proud of it. But 2 hours every couple weeks, this all would have none of this would have happened
Yeah.
if we hadn't been doing this for the last 5 years. And it's just sad because you look at it, like, nobody wants to sell the house, nobody wants to move into a home. They are perfectly fit people, and they're able to keep the house. It's just they just needed that extra little bit of help. They needed somebody to be there on a regular basis, looking after okay, well, like, yeah, that part of the roof needs to be repaired, or the whole roof needs to be replaced. But then somebody, and we will do that, we'll look at it and be like, all right, well, let's get some quotes and at least get a price. Like, we don't have to do anything, but let's see it. Or is there a fix option? Do we have to put a $20,000 roof on your house, or can we, have somebody come in and just patch this so that, you're not going to get your inside of your house contaminated with mold because it's leaking. Like, there's all these little things with just some preventative maintenance, would have solved. And then the people could have, one, not been stressed out living in their house for 5
Quality
years.
of life would have been better.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and then there, instead of, okay, let's get the house fixed up and let you live in it, we're already down on the road to, we're going to list it, we're going to sell it, and you're moving into a retirement home. Then again, if they want to, fantastic.
Yeah.
But in a bunch of these cases, nobody like, they're not happy about it.
No.
And they just keep telling me while we're there, the house is too much. The house is too much. It's too much. I'm like, well, what's too much about it? Like, what? Well, it's a big lawn. We have to, it's a lot of snow. I'm like, well, you can hire people to come out and cut your
There are
lawn.
services.
You won't have to do that. So, like, they're going to handle that. Again, if it's finances, then that's something different.
It does make a difference.
It does. But in a lot of these cases, it's not finances. It's they don't know who to trust. They don't know who to call. Calling somebody and having somebody come out gives them anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
So they don't do it. Then they try and do it themselves. Then they get hurt. Like, it's yeah.
It's a horrible cycle.
Yeah.
It really is,
and it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
Which is why we actually started these podcasts, to be honest. We started doing these podcasts because we want people, like specifically in the Ottawa area, to realize all these great people that you can call on. So people of Ottawa, call Warren.
Yeah. And again, if we can't, we don't do regular maintenance. We don't do lawn mowing. I say that, and then I'm hesitating because I do cut somebody's lawn every week or every other week, because that's just, I go there, like I said, for 2 hours, which it went from every 2 weeks to now weekly. I'm there for 2 hours, so I will mow the lawn. But we typically don't. But we can, we can vet the companies. We can, we can get
go-between for that.
Yeah, and we started doing that. It's basically like home management, where we'll and we get a percentage from that person that we bring on, being all above board. If we bring somebody on, and 9 times out of 10, the client has no problem paying a little bit extra. Like, we can handle the contracts, we can do all that, and they're going to end up paying from in one way or another, but they know that the company's been vetted, and they know that there's somebody, like, they can call Warren when this person doesn't show up to shovel the walkway. Like, it was Warren who had the contact. I can call him, and just having that, not having to call and complain to the company, because that's another thing. They don't want to manage people. They just I want to call one person, and I want you to call that person, and you deal with it. So
it's kind of like when you have my dog's barking. I'm sorry. When you have
that's life.
A widow, and her husband may have taken care of all the home maintenance.
Yep.
And so she just doesn't. It's honestly, I wouldn't have the house I have if I didn't have my husband, because I don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I have no inclination to do it. I take care of other things.
Yeah.
Passes, what do you do?
For sure. Well, I hear it from both sides. The husband will go out to help, and they will say, I didn't really think my wife did a lot around the house. And now I realize she did. And it's the exact same way the wife will say the same thing. I didn't think my husband did a lot around the house, but now I see what you're having to do, and he must have done a lot. It's just, you get into your daily routine, and you get into your daily life, and one party takes care of one and the other takes care of the rest, and you really don't know what's happening. You just know that the house is running efficiently and everyone's happy. And then when when they pass away, when they get
Or they
sick,
can't, yeah, they
yeah,
can't
or they
do it
just
for some
physically
reason.
can't do it
I
anymore.
mean, like
Yeah.
You
all
know,
sorts of reasons. What do you do?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You call
It's
Warren at Tasketeers.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Call Warren.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 and hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
sad when you go there and they've been overwhelmed for years living in this house, and
Yeah.
now they think the only option is to sell it, and they're not looking forward to moving into a retirement home. They're not looking forward to moving into an apartment or a condo. They want their family home. That's where they want to stay as long as possible. And sometimes we get there too late, and the ball's already, kind of rolling. And now they're under pressure. They don't want to tell the realtor they don't want to sell. They don't want to tell their kids they don't want to sell. We get the house the way they want it just so they list it, and they're like, well, this is where I want to live now. But it's like, now there's a for sale sign out front, so I'm not living here. I'm going to live somewhere else, right?
You're the TV
Uh,
show Love It or List It. Remember
yeah.
that show?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
That
If
kind of
only.
idea. Just call earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Or just like you call the real, like, I don't know. They can call the realtor, but then they can't call people. I think it's the ongoing. They're like, we can get it good now, but then who's going to come in, every whatever week or however many, just to make sure things are still staying in that way. But that's why we're here, and that's
Well, Ottawa,
I hope if nothing, yeah, I hope
you have
if
an
nothing
option.
else, yes, yeah, even just to talk, I will point you in the right direction.
You like chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
do actually.
Me too.
I can go for a
Ew.
chocolate chip cookie right now.
That's funny.
Well, that's why we do this, is to get the
I
word
think
out
it's great. I
so
think
that
it's
people can, reach out to you earlier so that
yeah.
they know they have that support. And
Yeah, and with you guys too, just like everyone, like, kind of networking, right? Clients and
Mhm.
you and us, and
definitely.
yeah, just having people, being
Having people in your
safe.
corner.
Yeah, and just being safe in like your own house, and just feeling safe and feeling
Yes.
content and not being overwhelmed. It's a lot. It's a lot. And we go into residences as well. Like, I was helping somebody put up shelves in their new condo or residence. And what else? And we had to switch the fridge door so it would open the way they wanted it to open. So it's not just for houses. It's if you're in an apartment or a condo as well, or if you're in independent living like residence, we can come out and help
You
you
build
set up
furniture too,
furniture.
don't you?
We do,
Like
yeah, we do
the
build furniture. Yeah,
the
yeah,
build
we
your own
build.
furniture stuff. That's a
Yeah, we
great
kind
that's
of
a
do.
great
Yeah,
thing to do.
yeah. So yeah, we'll build furniture. We'll install appliances, um, fix appliances. Yeah, we do a lot. We
That's
gotta
awesome.
yeah, yeah, broad
Awesome.
spectrum of services. And if we can't help you, we 9 times out of 10 we know somebody who can. So you're
Beautiful.
not stuck.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Warren.
No,
Yes,
thank you
thank
guys. This
you.
was great.
Thank you for
I
joining
can't
us
believe
today.
that we're like over our time. So
We're
Yeah,
very
it's
over our time. Whoops.
it's just been such a pleasure having you on, Warren. So thank you so much
Oh,
for
excellent. Thanks,
joining
guys.
us and
Absolutely.
coming and just hanging out and chatting and
Yeah,
getting the
no,
word
it's
out.
great. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Awesome.
joining us. Sorry. He doesn't usually come in during these.
That's okay. That's all right.
That's good. It's life.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us, and make sure you come back again for our compassionate chats, middle of the month, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks so much.
Bye.